Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new elite family of woods and irons from Callaway.
This much for an individual national championship. Ole Miss junior Michael Sasso, with that, completes the climb and secures the individual NCAA Division I golf championship. Welcome into Golf Central. Matt Adams with Tripp Eisenhower. It is a very special night here on Golf Central as we celebrate this individual champion in the men's NCAA Division I golf championship. That is Ole Miss junior Michael Sasso. And Tripp, we have a champion here that was able to steady the ship from the start.
Yeah, a little rough, a little start, but was able to right the ship and do it in such a great way. And you know, this title now comes with a lot of bonuses. So hats off for Michael Sasso for getting his third win of the season. None more important than this last one.
Well, let's give you the details of exactly how he did it today. We start with Sasso, who started on the back nine. Here he is at the par 4 11th for birdie.
Yeah, putted beautifully. I mean, these greens, very difficult to read, but he seemed to be finding line and speed on a regular basis.
He was 13 under there. Sasso now, after his double bogey at 16, now at 11 under on the 17th.
Oh, then we go double bogey, compounding mistakes. It looks like it could be anyone's game at this time.
He would drop to 9 under. Texas A&M senior Pishuk Maishan.
Yeah, that for birdie right there on the par 5 second hole. But he was making some noise, the first team All-SEC member.
Maishan with a nifty little shot here.
No way he could go up, but had to keep it down. And he would end up making bogey. Horrible miss there on the 5th.
Maishan now at the 6th.
Yeah, back to back. You got to watch this to have any chance. And, well, this one, that's going to be back-to-back bogeys.
Yeah, he's now 9 under. Back to Sasso, tied for the lead at the par 4 4th.
Bouncing back, that's the key. We saw it from Scotty Scheffler at Quail Hollow, and this young man bounced back repeatedly through his 4 rounds.
And speaking of bouncing, watch this at the 6th.
Yeah, well, that was a big lash there on the par 5. He was giving it his all, but there's trouble over there. There's not a lot of good things, and, well, when you're playing well, you get some good breaks, Matt, and, well, this right here is, watch where this one ends up. Right there in the middle of the fairway. Yeah, and watch, he knows it. He knows it. Right, smile right there.
Oh, can he take advantage of it? He would make birdie to move to 11 under, now ahead by 2. At his final hole, this putt we just showed you secured his individual national championship. Here is the individual leaderboard. You can see their schools respectively on the left. What they shot today. Brentley Romine is standing by with our new national champion.
Michael, you just won the NCAA individual championship, but you lost your lead early, a couple doubles on that opening 9. How'd you stay level out there and get it back?
Yeah, those holes had my number all week, if we're being honest. You know, I kind of told myself that, you know, if I just keep playing my game, good things will come. You know, I knew I kind of had a gettable front 9. I still could go play. And so I just tried to take it as easy as I could and just know that good breaks were coming my way.
Well, you mentioned one of those good breaks was the drive on 6. Your shot on 7 hit a rake. Is that one of those things where if it's meant to be, it's meant to be? What were you feeling after those?
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty funny. My teammate actually hit in the bunker on 7, so I said thanks for the good rake job, which was kind of a fun moment in the van. You know, I didn't think my drive on 6 was going to be in that much trouble. You know, and it's just kind of one of those things where it was a good break, but, you know, I had some rough ones earlier in the round, so I thought it all balanced out.
You've grown a lot since the first day of classes last fall. Describe how different Michael Sasso is now than back then.
Way different. I can't really thank Coach Malloy and Coach Emerson for everything they do. I mean, that's pretty much an understatement of what they do to me and how I've matured as a person. I also think that just the city of Oxford has done so much for me. I've checking my phone in the van, and I've had so many people just text and call and say congratulations, which really means a lot.
You're the second individual national champion in program history, joining Braden Thornberry, one of your good buddies. What does it mean to join him in that elusive company?
Yeah, we were on the phone last night for a while, and he was like, make sure you treat that final round pretty special. I thought about it a couple times out there today, and just having to be able to follow in his footsteps is really unbelievable. So,
pretty special plan. Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Let's take a look at Michael Sasso's bio. Junior from Raleigh, North Carolina. As you just heard, the second Ole Miss golfer to win the NCAA men's individual title. He was the 2025 Haskins Award finalist and first team All-SEC for the second straight season. So, Tripp, as you watched Michael Sasso, what traits impressed you the most?
Well, it looked like he was very comfortable in the situation. He looked very confident. And you can get overwhelmed when you're trying to win a tournament this big. He did not seem fazed, by any of the mistakes. He seemed to be right in the moment, which is where you want to be when you're playing competitive golf. And the other thing is just his short game. I loved some of his shots and his array of shots around the green. They looked beautiful. And, all these young men now all possess physical skills. They all can hit the driver a long way. They all hit the ball very solid. I mean, part of that's technology. They grow up with great numbers. They know these things. But it's those intangibles, the ability to stay in the present, the ability to play within yourself, not get out of that, and stay in your routines, and then have a great array of shots around the green and on the greens. That, to me, says that this young man's got a bright future in the game. And typically, when we look at the champions that hold this crown, they go on to pretty good things at the next level in golf. So I think he might be it took Braden Thornberry a while, the last Ole Miss guy, to finally get to the PGA Tour. I don't think it's going to take this young man very long. I think he's got a lot of confidence, and I think it's only going to grow. He gets a lot of benefits from winning this. He gets to play in the Masters, the U.S. Open, the U.S. Amateur. As long as he stays an amateur, he's a junior. I expect he'll be back playing for Chris Malloy next year, and we'll see him driving down Magnolia Lane in April.
Yeah, you were just alluding to it, but the individual national champion is a big deal, a really big deal. And take a look at this, Tripp, because this is only a partial list of legends. It speaks to the accomplishment and often, as you noted, foretells of what the future may hold for them, from Jack Nicklaus, Ben Crenshaw, Phil Mickelson, as you can see, who did it 3 times. Gentle Ben did it twice. Tiger Woods in '96, even Bryson DeChambeau in 2015. It makes you wonder at times, Tripp, if we all collectively, all of us, fans, media, otherwise, actually give as much credit as we should to an individual NCAA championship.
Well, I think we're starting to. I think now, and the rest of the governing bodies are doing it as well. We've seen so much success in the last really 6, 7, 8 years. With the PGA Tour University, we're seeing players like Ludwig Oberg come out with making big splashes right away. We're seeing Michael Thorbjornsen going to make a long career on the PGA Tour as well.